Have you ever been blindsided by a betrayal so profound it made you question everything you thought you knew? Especially when that betrayal came from the two people you trusted most in the entire world, on a day meant for celebration. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Hazel. Grab your coffee, because today we have a story of ultimate family deceit. Elara was a woman who always saw the best in people, a true optimist at heart. She had built a beautiful life with her husband, Gideon, over the past decade. Their 10-year wedding anniversary was approaching, a milestone she had meticulously planned for. Elara cherished Gideon. He was her rock, her partner in every sense of the word. She also adored her younger sister, Calliope, who was like a best friend to her. Calliope had always been a bit flighty, but Elara loved her fiercely despite their differences. For their anniversary, Elara had booked a romantic weekend getaway, a surprise for Gideon. She had spent weeks arranging every detail, from the scenic views to his favourite gourmet meals. The morning of their anniversary dawned bright, but Gideon was acting strangely distant. He seemed preoccupied, his phone constantly buzzing with texts he quickly dismissed. Elara brushed it off, thinking he was stressed with work or perhaps planning his own surprise. She decided to let him be, focusing on getting ready for their special dinner. Elara put on the dress Gideon loved most, feeling a flutter of excitement for their evening. She waited in the living room, checking her watch as the minutes ticked by. Gideon was supposed to be home an hour ago to leave for their reservation. She tried calling him, but his phone went straight to voicemail. A cold knot of worry began to twist in her stomach. This was highly uncharacteristic of him. She called his office, but his assistant said he had left hours ago for a quote-unquote personal appointment. Elara's mind raced, trying to think where he could possibly be. Then a memory surfaced. Calliope had mentioned she was house-sitting for a friend nearby. It was a long shot, but a sudden, unsettling intuition prompted Elara to drive over. She tried to calm herself, thinking maybe Gideon was helping Calliope with something. The friend's house was in a quiet, tree-lined street, just a few miles from their home. As she pulled up, her breath hitched. Gideon's car was parked directly in the driveway. Her heart hammered against her ribs, a sick feeling washing over her completely. She stared at his familiar vehicle, a growing sense of dread consuming her thoughts. Elara got out of her car, her legs feeling like lead, and slowly walked towards the front door. She could hear muffled voices from inside, a low murmur that sent shivers down her spine. It sounded like laughter, but not Gideon's usual hearty laugh. It was softer, more intimate. Taking a deep, shaky breath, she reached for the doorknob. It was unlocked. Elara pushed the door open just a crack, peering into the dimly lit living room. The scene that unfolded before her eyes instantly froze the blood in her veins. There was Gideon, her husband, wrapped in an embrace with her sister Calliope. They were kissing, oblivious to the world, lost in their own horrifying moment. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a deeply intimate, undeniable act of betrayal. Elara stood there, her beautiful anniversary dress feeling like a shroud. The air left her lungs, replaced by a searing pain that pierced through her very soul. On their 10th wedding anniversary, her entire world had just imploded into fragments. She didn't scream, she didn't cry out. A profound, silent shock immobilized her completely. A cold, calculating clarity began to settle over the initial wave of devastation. The betrayal was absolute, from her husband and her own flesh and blood. Her vision narrowed, a quiet fury slowly starting to ignite deep within her. Calliope carefully backed away from the doorway, her heart thudding a silent rhythm of disbelief. She moved with unnatural stealth, every muscle taut, her mind racing but her body quiet. She grabbed her coat and keys, slipping out of her own home without a sound, like a phantom. The chilly night air confronted her face, a sharp contrast to the burning inferno within her. She got into her car, not starting it immediately, just sitting in stunned silence. The image replayed in her mind, a cruel loop, her husband Silas and her sister Wren. 10 years of marriage, countless family dinners, all shattered by one horrific moment. How long had this been happening? The question echoed a sinister whisper in the dark. Every kind gesture, every shared secret with Wren now felt like a calculated deception. Every loving word from Silas a lie wrapped in an elegant, expensive anniversary bow. Calliope finally started the car, driving aimlessly, needing distance from the scene. She found herself at an all-night diner, ordering coffee, trying to ground herself. The steam from the mug offered little comfort against the icy despair gripping her. Her mind began to shift, moving from raw pain to a steely resolve, a blueprint forming. She realized this wasn't just about emotional revenge. It was about strategic justice. Silas had a thriving business, a shared bank account, and a carefully constructed image. Wren had always been financially dependent, living off the family's good graces. Calliope knew their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities, their deepest secrets. She thought of the perfect, intricate way to unravel their shared deception. This wasn't going to be a messy, emotional confrontation. It would be precise. She would dismantle their lives piece by piece with the cold precision of a surgeon. Step 1. Gather undeniable proof, evidence that would stand up to scrutiny. Her home office had a small, discreet security camera she'd installed years ago. It was for monitoring the cats when they travelled, but now it served a new purpose. She also had access to Silas's work laptop for their shared investments. His calendar, his emails, his financial records, all potentially fertile ground. Wren's phone, frequently left unattended, also held potential digital breadcrumbs. Calliope began to outline her plan on a napkin, a sinister to-do list taking shape. She would need legal counsel, someone sharp and discreet, specializing in divorce. Her friend, a brilliant lawyer named Esme, immediately came to mind. Esme was known for her unyielding pursuit of justice for her clients. Next, she needed to secure her financial position, preempting any moves Silas might make. She'd transfer a significant portion of their joint savings into a separate account. This was not theft, it was safeguarding her future, an insurance policy. She also remembered a small, significant inheritance from her grandmother. That money, untouched, was entirely her own, a solid financial cushion. The thought of exposing their affair publicly crossed her mind, but she dismissed it. Public humiliation was fleeting. Lasting consequences were far more satisfying. She focused on financial ruin and social dismantling within their shared circles. The details started to fill in, each step interlocking, forming a robust strategy. She would return home before morning, acting as if nothing was amiss. For now, they wouldn't suspect a thing, believing their secret was perfectly safe with her. This quiet, composed demeanour would be her most potent weapon. They had underestimated her, mistaking her kindness for a lack of resolve. But Calliope was about to teach them a very expensive, very public lesson. Calliope spent the next few days not acting. She was observing, gathering more evidence, and refining her strategy. Every text message, every hushed phone call, every late return was logged. Her best friend, Thaddeus, a sharp lawyer, was her secret confidant. He helped her build an ironclad case for divorce and financial separation. They discussed every angle, ensuring Calliope would emerge financially secure. Calliope also made subtle changes to their shared online accounts and digital assets. She secured her own investments, ensuring they couldn't be easily touched. Her husband, Gideon, was completely oblivious, basking in his perceived cleverness. He thought he was playing a brilliant game, but he was merely a pawn. The perfect opportunity arose a week later, during a family dinner. It was supposed to be a casual gathering, with Calliope's sister, Wren, present. Calliope arrived looking stunningly calm, almost serene, in a beautiful dress. She greeted everyone warmly, even offering Wren a tight, knowing hug. The air was thick with unspoken tension, but only Calliope could feel it. As dessert was served, Calliope stood, raising her glass with a small smile. "I have a special announcement," she began, her voice clear and steady. Gideon and Wren exchanged nervous glances, their faces paling slightly. "You all know our anniversary was last week," Calliope continued, maintaining eye contact. "And it was certainly memorable, though not for the reasons you might think." She then calmly produced her phone, connecting it to the living room TV. On the screen, a slideshow began. A timeline of Gideon and Wren's secret activities. Photos of them together, text messages, even hotel receipts with dates. The room fell silent, save for the soft click of the photos changing. Gideon's jaw dropped, his face turning an unhealthy shade of purple. Wren gasped, covering her mouth, her eyes wide with fear and shame. Their parents looked from the screen to their daughters, utterly aghast. Calliope let the images speak for themselves for a full, agonizing minute. Then she spoke again, her voice still measured. "I have filed for divorce, and I will be pursuing significant financial compensation for this deep betrayal." She looked directly at Gideon. "Our shared assets are now frozen, effective immediately." Then to Wren, "And I'm afraid our relationship as sisters is also terminated." The dinner party erupted into chaos, shouts, and accusations flying. Gideon tried to stammer out excuses, but his words were hollow and unconvincing. Wren burst into tears, trying to deny everything, but the evidence was overwhelming. Calliope remained unfazed, a silent sentinel amidst the storm she had created. She had delivered her truth, and now it was time for them to face it. The consequences would be public, painful, and precisely what they deserved. This was not about anger for Calliope, it was about calculated justice. She had meticulously planned every step, every reveal, every legal maneuver. Her composure was terrifyingly effective, stripping them of any defense. It was a masterclass in how to dismantle a betrayal with quiet, devastating force. Gideon and Wren were left utterly exposed, their carefully constructed lives shattered. Their reputations, both within the family and socially, were irrevocably damaged. And Calliope, after years of being underestimated, finally took back her power. The family's reaction was swift and decisive. There was no defending the indefensible, especially not on their anniversary. Gideon found himself ostracized, both by his own relatives and Calliope's. His career, which relied heavily on his public image, began to crumble rapidly. Clients discreetly withdrew, unwilling to be associated with such a scandal. Wren, too, faced the cold shoulder from her social circle and professional contacts. The sister who once seemed to have it all now had very little left of her reputation. The consequences were not just emotional but deeply financial for both of them. Calliope, meanwhile, moved forward with a quiet determination, securing legal counsel. The divorce was finalized, granting her the space and peace she deserved. She began to rebuild her life, focusing on her own well-being and future. It wasn't easy, but with each step she grew stronger and more independent. She found comfort in true friends and rediscovered passions she had put aside. Calliope's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the quietest revenge is the loudest. It wasn't about yelling or screaming, it was about exposing the truth with undeniable clarity. This situation, guys, highlights the intricate web of trust within families. When that trust is shattered by someone so close, the pain is incredibly profound. And when it's your own sister, the betrayal feels like a double-edged sword. Calliope's response was not fueled by immediate rage, but by careful, calculated thought. She understood that emotional outbursts rarely lead to true justice. Instead, she chose to present the facts in a way that left no room for denial. Think about the impact of her calm delivery. It amplified the shock of the revelation. It made Gideon and Wren's reactions look even more pathetic and desperate. This wasn't just a breakup, it was a complete re-evaluation of her entire support system. She had to confront the reality that two people she loved had deliberately hurt her, and to do it on their anniversary, a day meant for celebration, adds another layer of cruelty. It was a deliberate disrespect for their shared history and commitment. Calliope's strength in that moment was truly admirable, a testament to her resilience. She didn't let their actions diminish her worth or define her future. Instead, she used the situation to reclaim her narrative and her autonomy. This kind of betrayal often leaves people feeling completely isolated and lost. But Calliope found a way to channel her pain into powerful, self-preserving action. Her story reminds us that you don't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the most impactful statements are made with quiet confidence and undeniable truth. It's about understanding your worth and refusing to let others degrade it. What she did was a form of self-love, protecting her peace and her dignity. It's a lesson in setting boundaries, even with those you once considered family, because true family doesn't intentionally inflict such deep wounds. The repercussions for Gideon and Wren were a direct result of their own choices. Their lives completely changed because they chose to betray someone who trusted them. And Calliope emerged from the ashes, stronger, wiser, and ultimately free. So, what do you think of Calliope's approach to uncovering this painful truth? Have you ever seen a betrayal handled with such incredible composure? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. And if you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe for more cozy revenge tales. Till next time, grab your coffee, stay cozy, and I'll see you in the next one.